I'd like to quickly introduce myself. So I'd like to know if my presentation is on the screen for you or not.
Yes, we see it, Dr. Yahia.
Yes, I
Thank
can see.
you.
Yes.
So, yes, I am Fatima Yahia, a PhD student in Laboratory of Research and Didactics of Sciences and Technology at Sidi Mohammed bin Abdullah University in Morocco. I'd like to thank my colleagues and of course the ICANSS community for their gentle communication and great organization. So today I'll present a part of our findings about views of Moroccan learners in international sections about the use of about the use of French as the language of learning scientific subjects. For that, my talk will be divided into 4 points. First, problem statement. Second, the method, where I'm going to describe the questionnaire and the sample. Third, the main results with their discussion. And finally, a conclusion. The international sections of Moroccan Baccalaureate is a new project in the field of education and teaching in Morocco that starts on the year of 2030. In the classes of international sections, the courses of scientific and technical subjects are taught in foreign languages. And according to the linguistic policy of Morocco, there is 3 main languages programmed in these sections: French, English, and Spanish. French is the most widespread language used in the international sections. That's why we've chosen it as the target language in our research. In fact, the reflection of teaching a subject in a foreign language has developed throughout Europe, particularly since the 1990s, through the concept of CLIL, which means Content and Language Integrated Learning. And now it is adopted in Morocco under a principle or a pedagogical tool called the linguistic alternation. The linguistic alternation is an alternation between one or more foreign languages in teaching NLS or non-linguistic subjects. According to this concept, we can have during a school year for a given level courses that are taught in Arabic as the mother tongue, other in French, others in English, and others in Spanish. So it is an interdisciplinary linguistic alternation. The 2 main objectives of the linguistic alternation are to acquire knowledge in specific content, especially scientific and technical ones, and also to develop linguistic skills in a language. So this is great, but there is some problems with the Moroccan learning skills related to language and scientific subjects. According to TEAM's report, which compares the skills of learners in mathematics and science in the 4th year of primary education and the 2nd year of college education, this report shows that Morocco is below the TEAM's reference average set at 500 points in both mathematics and science. These findings are noted in 2011 and 2015, even if was a slight improvement between the 2 years, according to this report. In addition to regarding or to reading and writing problems suffered by primary school learners as reported in the PIRLS, which compares the reading and comprehension skills of fourth grade primary school learners. It shows almost the same results as the team study, a slight change between the years. So we have here the 2011 and 2016, but a level that is below to the set average, which is 500 points. So, in order to evaluate the experience of international section learners in light of these data, we are asking three questions. Can learners lend themselves to this reform, and how do they find this experience? Is it possible to think that learning conditions are facilitated when a foreign language is used? Does this reform take into account the language skills of Moroccan learners? So to answer these questions, we've adopted the investigation tool, which is a questionnaire. So this questionnaire was offered in Morocco in classical Arabic for public school learners. It is an anonymous one, validated by experts in science, didactics, and by teachers of scientific subjects. The results of the analysis of the collected answers were processed using the SPSS for Windows. The sample consists of 286 learners. So, according to their sex, 56% of whom are girls and 43 are boys. Thus, 55 of learners study at schools located in urban areas, while 44% continue their studies at rural schools. The learners belong to four grade levels where scientific disciplines are taught in French. There are the 7th, the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th grade. The NLS, or the non-linguistic subjects we were interested in, are physical and chemical sciences, earth and life sciences, and mathematics. And of course, the mother tongue in our case is Arabic, and the foreign language, as I've mentioned before, is French. One question of the questionnaire asks the learners if they have chosen to study in international classes or not. We found that the majority of learners, about 76% of them, choose that orientation, while 80% did not. So we can say that there is a spontaneous orientation toward the international section. This is good. This is a good trend because education, as we know, in all its paths and in all its levels, prepares and conditions the learner's professional so it conditions the learner's future in his professional career and integration. And the problem that this could be a source of inequalities if education doesn't provide or improve some skills into learners like the linguistic skills. Knowing that the labor market and Moroccan recruiters require certain qualities related to mastery of written French and English. So studying in international sections will help in destroying these inequalities, especially with regard to public schools. So as I've mentioned before, between the main objectives of studying scientific subjects in foreign languages is to improve the learner's linguistic skills. In other question, we gave learners three images related to earth and life sciences, physical and chemical sciences, and mathematics. and ask them to comment on them in order to detect how learners comment on informations related to these three subjects. During the analysis of the questionnaires, we were able to categorize the comments given by learners into 8 classes, classes with non-response included. So the categories are the answer is false in Arabic, or the answer is correct in Arabic, or the answer is given in short sentences and it is correct in French, long correct answer in French, false answer in French, or there is a mixing between Arabic and French, or the learner is just specifying the subject. It should be noted already that the images chosen belong to the lessons that are programmed for the different school levels mentioned above. Therefore, it is among the prerequisites of learners. For the physical and chemical sciences, it is an image of a simple chemical reaction. For mathematics, it is an image of the rule of calculating the perimeter of a triangle. And for the earth and life sciences, it is an image of a food chain. In general, we got the same results for the three images. If we take the comments provided, like here, on the earth and life sciences image, we have a general trend by moving from the 7th grade to 12th grade. The use of precise, short sentences that accurately describe the content leads. We also note, again from the 7th grade to 12th grade, a decrease in the use of the Arabic language in favor of the use of the French language. So learners in the high school do not use Arabic in their comments, neither alone nor in a mixture, but rather use French sentences. The next question is about the learners' frequency of using Arabic and French in their participations in class. The results show that by moving from 7th grade to 12th grade, the frequency of using Arabic in participation decreases while the use of French increases. So, from the two previous questions, we can say that learners develop self-confidence in terms of their language skills throughout their school career. This is related to the rule of the native language, of the mother language, which is in our case the Arabic. At the beginning of the learning process, the mother tongue plays the role of facilitator, but as learners progress in the language of learning, as they gain some autonomy. When the learners were asked about the interest of teaching science subjects in French, they gave several options, of which the categories facilitate higher school and improve the French language were the most suggested. And there is other categories like it is easier to understand scientific subjects in French, or improve, or there is no interest, but these two categories was the most widespread. So this shows that learners are aware about the problems that new students face when they choose to continue their high school or their higher education in the scientific and technical fields due to widespread use of French in Moroccan universities. So kind of these problems, we have difficulty of taking notes, or problems in expressing oneself correctly, and problems in understanding the scientific and technical concepts. So they therefore prefer to go to other schools or other specialties where language is not a barrier to learning. And this, unfortunately, creates a loss of the investment made in higher school or in high school for these learners, because more than 60% of high school learners studying in scientific and technical fields represent only 12% of students when they arrive at higher education. So, as a conclusion, we can confess that yes, the Moroccan learners in international sections belonging to public schools face difficulties due to the use of French as the language of teaching scientific subjects. For our case or our survey, it was about earth and life sciences, mathematics, and physical and chemical sciences. But these difficulties decreases as they progress through their academic progress. Also, the international sections are really a great opportunity to develop the language skills into learners. And we have to adapt the curricula of these sections in a way that does not influence the acquisition of skills related to scientific and technical subjects, because the main aim is to teach the scientific and technical content, and the language in this case is just a tool. Yes, we are looking for their improvement or its improvement, but it stays just a tool. Thank you. So, if you have any questions, please let me know about it.